I guess.
Must be somewhere to do it. Did you ever see anyone that could sleep like a flight nurse?
I heard that.
Sorry, Lieutenant.
We land in 20 minutes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that the softest cargo you can haul?
That cargo's blood, Lieutenant.
Hope they keep it coming. There was a little part of many of you in that precious cargo. I had no idea then what a lot of good it would do. In fact, I had no thought of anything but my guy. Suppose Mike isn't here to meet me. Oh, that's silly. He knows I'm coming. Of course he'll be here. He better be. Maybe he's changed. What if I don't recognize him? Oh, I'll know him all right. But suppose he doesn't know me. It's been a whole year. Wonder if I can see Anita yet. Wonder if I can see him. Can't even see Japan. What'll I say to him first? That's important, that one first thing. Shall I take it big, rush at him and kiss him? Oh, sure. Embarrass him. Get lipstick all over him. Make him disgusted. Or maybe I'll just be casual. Hi, Mike. What are you doing here?
Excuse me, Lieutenant, but...
Scram!
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. I was just going to say we're closer in than I thought. We're in the landing pattern already.
Okay, I'm with it.
Bag ready, Lieutenant?
Already. Mike!
Sorry, Lieutenant. Wrong number.
Good luck, Lieutenant.
Mike must have gotten my letter. But where is he? What happened?
Lieutenant Davis?
Did Mike Barnes?
Welcome to Japan. I'm Ann Phillips. Hop in. Captain Ackerman, our chief nurse, asked me to meet you. You're being assigned to the 801st Medical Aerovac Squadron at Tachikawa Air Force Base.
Would that near the 3rd Air Rescue Squadron?
Oh, no. Tachi's a few miles outside of Tokyo. Did you get processed okay?
All set, ready for flight duty. Plush living we have here.
What you expect?
Mice in a mattress.
You must have been talking to the Navy.
Navy nurses really have it so much better?
If you like sleeping in hammocks.
It's like the time we were sleeping in 4 inches of hard water. Nobody griped. Then we found out the Navy nurses were sleeping in 5 inches of soft water. You never heard such a beef.
Say, who's the male? Or don't you remember?
Captain Mike Barnes, 3rd Air Rescue.
Never forget a face, huh?
But 100 years ago, when I was young and dewy-eyed, or was it this morning, I stepped off a plane thinking I was going to meet him here and marry him.
Yeah, I know. You want to settle down and have a lot of kids.
Don't we all?
Our flight nurses never get their men. Don't you know that?
You latch on to a good one. He flies his way and you fly another.
Take Kit here. Every spring she goes out and buys a couple of salt shakers.
Did you ever try to put salt on a flyer's tail?
You could tell how many of her birds got away.
Sorry to interrupt your vacation, kids, but Korea needs you. You kid flight 607, and flight 608, and you Polly flight 609. You want to check with operations with your gear in exactly 54 minutes.
That's what I like about flight nursing. You never have to hurry. Keep the other hand. I'll do it later.
Okay. Come on, baby. That's enough of that. Let's get going.
There's your Goonie bird, Polly.
C-47.
I bet you thought the Air Force stopped flying them in the last war.
That's what we all thought, but there's so many small fields in Korea. The 47's the only aircraft that can be used. Good luck, kid. Thanks. Sayonara.
Sergeant Francis Swan, sir. Lieutenant, ma'am. You're assigned to me. I mean, I'm assigned to you, sir. Ma'am. I'm your tech.
Glad to know you, Sergeant.
I'll take your gear aboard, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Bill Eaton, pilot on this trip. Nice to have you with us, Lieutenant.
Polly Davis. Oh, do you know Mike Barnes?
Should I?
Helicopter pilot, 3rd Air Rescue. He was supposed to meet me here. You see, we're engaged.
Don't tell me he stood you up.
Oh, Mike wouldn't do that. But I thought he might have.
Let a little thing like a war stop him? Maybe you'll catch up with him in Korea.
Japan to Korea was a frog's hop to the pilot, but to me, it was a million miles closer to Mike. Or was it?
Hello, K2 Tower. This is Gypsy Flight 609, approximately 20 miles southeast your station. Landing instructions.
Hello, Gypsy 609. Landing is to the south, runway 18. Expedite your landing. Heavy jet traffic in 10 minutes. Call tower, base leg.
Roger.
Visitors allowed up here?
Oh, you can take the bib off now.
Oh, thanks.
I was getting a little worried.
About me?
No, about me.
Yeah, you're so long in coming forward, he was worrying about his essay.
The comic is Tommy Metcalf.
Hi.
Hi. What's all that?
Refugees.
Where are they going?
Yeah, where?
What on earth happened?
You haven't come to a sake party, Lieutenant.
Worse than I thought.
Much worse. Well, you see what's waiting for us.
We landed at Daegu on a dusty, ruddy strip scratched through the rice paddies. Other C-47s were there ahead of us, bringing in badly needed supplies of blood, food, medicine, ammo, and taking out their grim human cargoes. This was my day for shocks. First the Korean refugees, total strangers to me. And now this. Our boys. Your sons. And yours. And yours. Your blood saving their lives. Aren't you glad now you gave? Or did you? And that long, long line of ambulances. Something unthinkable is happening somewhere in that desolate maze of rock. And now it struck me with reverence and awe. This was what I'd been trained for, entrusted to. And no other thing mattered. No personal problem. Mike or marriage, nothing. Nothing but the sacred duty of mercy. Aid. The privilege of giving comfort and compassion to these boys. And suddenly I remembered these words from the creed of the flight nurse. I can set the very skies ablaze with life and promise for the sick, injured, and wounded who are my sacred charges. This I will do. I will not falter in war or in peace.
Well, how's it hit you, Lieutenant?
I've never felt so needed in my life. Well, what do you know? Australia.
That's right, ma'am. 3rd Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment.
Good. We'll have a nice visit later. You can tell me all about it. Put our Aussie friend upper right.
Watch this chest case every minute. We've done all we could, but it'll be a horse race. You wouldn't be here at all if it weren't for the helicopters.
Helicopters.
3rd Air Rescue. It's full of crazy men. Some chopper snatched this kid right off the battlefield, behind the enemy at that.
Where are they now?
Who?
3rd Air Rescue.
Who knows? Get him through if you can.
We'll get him there.
If you lose him, it won't be your fault. He's pretty deep into borrowed time. Good luck.
Put him right in there.
Both pins out?
2 pins out, all set for takeoff.
there's no surgeon aboard.
I know.
You mean we're on our own with all these? What'll we do?
We never have a surgeon. How many missions have you flown?
Well, let's see. I guess I've flown about... This is my first.
That's all right. I've never handled battle casualties before. You want to know something? We'll make out just fine.
I'll sure do my best for you.
What's your name again?
Francis Swan, sir, ma'am.
How did you get into the Air Force?
Well, sir, ma'am, I was milking a cow one day, and this recruiting officer comes through, and he says, "Boy, why aren't you at the front?" I says, "'Cause you get more milk at this end." So he puts me on this little old milk run.
You're pulling my leg, aren't you?
Oh, no, ma'am. I really was milking. See, I was born and raised on a farm in Smithville, Tennessee.
I suppose you'll be lonesome for your cows.
Heck no, ma'am. I'll be right happy with you.
All right, Frank, let's get started.
Yes, Lieutenant. No smoking till after takeoff. Now listen to Lieutenant Davis.
Boys, we're heading for Tokyo. Flight time, 4 hours and 20 minutes. Altitude, 9,000 feet. Now, my tech and I are here to make you as comfortable as possible. So, if you're in pain, let us know. Don't lie there suffering bravely through the entire trip, okay? Any questions?
What do we do in Tokyo?
You'll be taken to Tokyo Army Hospital, but I'm afraid you won't like it. Good-looking Army nurses, hot food, hot baths, clean sheets, pillowcases, pajamas.
Oh, I ain't had any milk for 3 months. Do we get any?
Oh, sure. They have a cow pipe directly to each bed.
I thought our Polly was a sour note till she took over these beat-up guys.
He's fixing to marry some helicopter pilot over in 3rd Air Rescue. They got about 8 of those things flying around picking up wounded.
They won't have that many tomorrow.
I know they're going crazy up there.
Sure, they're flying at a slow walk through ground fire at about 100 feet. Sit down behind the enemy or any place.
I know. Knock one of those things down with a tennis ball.
Well, that's what I say. How long can he last?
That's the trouble. Can't pry a girl loose from a guy like that. Think he ever gets killed outright? Not him. Either gets wounded or missing in action, and then you're a dead duck. Take over for a while, Tommy. Going someplace?
They say this reassures the patients. Maybe this time is to reassure me. Did you ever see kids look so lost and bewildered?
Can't figure what hit them, I guess.
What on earth did they walk into up there?
They sure look at you like they'd never seen a girl before.
They're not seeing me.
Maybe she's right. That kid isn't seeing her. He's seeing something he remembers from way back in his past when he was secure. Maybe his mother. He's not much more than a baby himself. Maybe this next fellow is seeing an imaginary girl he never knew at all.
Give him some more water, Frank.
Maybe he never had much chance to know girls. He's wondering if now it's too late, he never will. This kid has really had it. I only hope he sees her at all. I'm awfully afraid she may be the last thing he'll ever see.
Frank, bring me the oxygen. Captain, fly as low as you can, will you?
I'll put her right on the deck, honey.
Even a few feet might make the difference. How long will it be now?
Oh, about another hour and a half. Unless you want me to ask for permission to set down in Tommy?
We've got 4 head cases. We've got to get to Tokyo and fast.
No sweat, honey. We'll make it.
a doctor aboard, but there wasn't, so it was up to me. One moment of indecision might cost this boy his life. Get my medical kit and set it up. Full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women.
Captain, you're revving her up pretty fast. Sure. It'll do her good.
I hope you know what these engines will take.
Okay. So I'm pouring on the coal to burn out the engine lights.
How long now?
Still about an hour. Bill says, will you let him know? He might want to throttle back.
I'll let him know.
Batting her brains out, and he just slowly slipping through her fingers.
Well, he had no more chance than a hog on ice when they put him aboard.
Do they always take it this hard?
Never saw him lose one before.
I saw her clamp off a bleeder with a hemostat, just like a regular doc.
Kid was picked up by a chopper pilot. Maybe her own guy, for all she knows. I guess she feels like she got this case on a lateral from him, and now she drops the ball.
It'd be a relief if she'd give up.
She doesn't know how. She's got stuff.
Father, the soldier seems so close to you. His tired face is dark with pain. Lend him your strength till he smiles again. While angels also watch and guard his rest, help him to know I've done my best. Amen.
Did you say something, Lieutenant?
I was talking to God. How long now?
It's only 10 minutes more. We'll come into a pattern pretty quick.
I think he's gonna be all right. Give me some tissue. Take over, Frank.
I always knew nurses could cry.
I got dust in my eye.
We're bound to lose some of them, honey.
Who is? I didn't lose anybody.
I thought the kid with the...
That boy's all right. Thanks for the towel service.
That does it.
Does what?
Scratch one chopper pilot. He doesn't know it yet, but he's had it. Hello, taxi tower. This is Gypsy Flight 609, 10 miles south. 2 4-liter patients aboard. Landing instructions.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna take her away from him. Come on, let's land this ambulance.
There's nothing on earth more gratifying than being needed and able to do something about it. These poor broken kids needed me. Especially this one on borrowed time. Want to know what happened to him? He was weak but alive when I checked him out to ambulance at Tachi. God had answered my prayer. After surgery at Tokyo Army Hospital, another flight nurse in a MAT C-97 took him to Honolulu. Checkup at Tripler Army Hospital, and on to Travis Air Force Base in California. Another checkup at Travis Air Force Base Hospital, and he was flown to the military hospital nearest his own home. It's miraculous the way a boy will fight to live when he knows he's going home to the most magic therapy in the book. The sight of his sweetheart and his mom. Yes, sir, that's air evac. Our job is saving lives in war and peace. Korea was a bigger deal than anybody thought. My first week was a killer diller, and we were all so bush we didn't know which end was up. And still no word from Mike.
What makes you so jumpy every time you hear a chopper?
Men fly them.
Oh.
Boy, 4 days without a bath, and did I make up for lost time?
Sounds like you've got a date.
How about it, Polly? Let's grab a couple of salt shakers and go down to the officers' club.
I pass.
You better get that chopper jockey off your mind. I'll lay odds you've seen the last of him.
Okay, have it your way. So I've seen the last of him.
You might as well face it.
The way I feel now, I wouldn't even care much. I'd probably bite his head off.
That's the best outlook, believe me.
But somehow, I still think he's going to come and find me.
Not if he looks for you here.
What?
Wonderful news, gals. Your uncle's asking about you.
Good old Sammy. Where's he sending us?
To Ashia, on Kyushu.
Oh, gesundheit.
When do we go?
Oh, you and Ann have loads of time. 1 minute less than an hour. You're in the fat cat position, Polly. You don't take off till 0400.
You mean I can sleep as long as I like?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Just so you're on the line by 0300. Want to go in a party?
Are you kidding? Nothing on earth could get me out of this sack.
That's what I told him.
Who? Oh, the Goonie Bird pilot.
All I know is he has no flaps or brakes. Has to be stopped by hand.
Ann, toss me your soap. I'll bring it to Ashia.
He said he was going to come up here himself and drag you out. I told him he wasn't.
Let him. If he wants the battle of the century.
Man in the house!
Mushy, mushy.
Oh,
Funny, I could have sworn somebody conked me.
oh, Mike. Those run blossoms, you remembered. Oh.
Now, why can't I get a guy like that?
No soap.
Let me look at you. Oh, Mike, you've been AWOL too long.
AWOL.
Absent without love.
Where's Polly?
She's busy.
Hey, we're wasting golden hours. I've got to be on the line at 0300, and you've got to take me out on the town. Bill! Oh, come on, Bill, you've got to meet Mike. Bill, this is my Mike. Bill knows all about you. Now, you two get acquainted while I shower and dress. Shut the door.
Nice to meet you, Bill.
Well, I'd be an awful liar if I said it was nice to meet you, but congratulations anyway. For now.
Thank you.
You know what?
What?
I dreamed it this way.
You dreamed just fine.
If I gave you $1 for every dream I've had about you,
Hey, stop it.
you'd be rich.
Pretty Polly. Polly, want a kiss?
Aww. Still thinking about Bill?
A lug with a big bouquet? No. Another guy. Sam.
Sam?
Uncle Whiskers. Just about cracked my skull trying to figure out how we could get married right away. Tonight. But Uncle won't let us.
Why?
Well, the military makes it practically impossible for you to get married. Look, I'll show you. This is what they want. Proof of birth.
Check.
The permission of the commanding officer.
Check.
Appointment with the chaplain.
Check.
A visit to the American consul.
Check. That all?
Oh, no. Here's the topper. The blood test. You know how long it takes to get a blood test?
4 days.
What was it somebody said war was?
Well, don't worry. We'll make it yet.
I sure will. All the way back to Rocking Chair, Texas.
Our own little house.
Oh, it'll be little to start with, but we'll keep adding on to it.
First, a nursery.
With 6 little beds in it.
6?
Well, one at a time.
You dream pretty good, too.
You know the first thing I'm going to do when we get back to Texas?
What's the second thing?
First, I'm going to pick you up like this. And carry you across the threshold of our own little house. I'm never going to let you out of my arms.
Captain Barnes.
Yeah?
At ease, Sergeant.
You're ordered back to Korea, sir. Your plane leaves in an hour. You're to report back immediately.
Okay.
Do you suppose it's ever going to be any different?
Sure. Sure it will. Just a little while more.
I didn't see Mike anymore. He was busy picking up our wounded on the battle line and getting them back to medical aid faster than if they'd been hit by a car on a city street. But I saw retreat and more refugees and more, with the harsh, ugly discord of unceasing gunfire driving them back to the sea. And the children, harmless, innocent, defenseless. That's the real tragedy of war. The children, they can't fight back. I was getting tougher now, learning to roll with the punches. Not so many butterflies when I saw these beat-up kids. But believe me, I prayed that each day would be the last of this war. Frank, smooth the wrinkles out onto this patient.
Hey, Joe.
Doctor, this is the last of my load.
This is a real United Nations gang today. 2 British infantrymen, a lady from hell and Die Hard, a Greek, a Filipino, and 2 Turks, 3 South Koreans, a Canadian, a Harlem boy, a farmer from Maine, a cowboy from Oklahoma, a soldier from Thailand, a medic from India, a Dutch flyer, 2 Frenchmen, a New Zealander and a Belgian. Makes you think there is something in world unification after all.
Give us a hand here.
You need a pressure bandage on a thing like this.
The commies lost us up. They're swarming out there.
Hit the dirt! Whoop!
That boy, he'll be hit.
Nurses aren't supposed to stick their neck out. Boy's gonna need you alive when this is over. Water fire's getting too close for comfort. Fighters. Ours.
Good. I hope they blast those dirty...
Watch your language. Remember, you're a lady.
shooting at wounded people.
Well, they've got us running, and they don't want us to stop.
Those commies are being stopped.
shooters who routed those commies. Now they're working on those mortar positions.
Gosh, I'm glad you're okay, Lieutenant.
How is he?
He's hemorrhaging pretty badly.
Get him to the Holding Hospital, quick.
That's what gets me. You all do that.
Do what?
You never say a word. Just stand there and look, and slowly start shaking your heads.
These things are murder.
The greatest things ever built, actually. You'll see huge fleets of them someday. They'll be giants, carrying 100 tons apiece.
You lose many?
Yeah, there's 2 missing now.
How about Mike Barnes?
He's one of them. If you want to check, you can contact his headquarters at Ashia. Well, I gotta get a couple more.
Go get him.
Did you see any choppers get clobbered?
I seen one I wanted to clobber. Took right off from underneath my nose.
Yeah, when was that?
It was long after we was cut off. Didn't none of Charlie Company get out. I couldn't see none of our guys, only dead ones. Nothing but mobs of red screaming and a squeezing off burp gun. I grabbed a couple of rags off a dead one and a burp gun and ran hollering and a burping with the best of them.
Where was the helicopter?
Oh, I come around a hill and pretty near got a hold of it. I yelled and squeezed off my burp gun and started running towards him. But he wouldn't wait. It only come to me afterwards. He thought I was a red. The next thing I
Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
All right, Lieutenant, he's all yours. Get him out of here as soon as you can.
Yes, sir. All right, soldier. In 60 hours, we'll have you home. Think you can make it?
I sure can. With you along, I could walk home.
Something here I don't like.
No. You mean we're not collapsing according to plan?
There's 2 helicopters overdue, and one of them's Mike Barnes.
Oh. Does she know about it yet?
Well, she'll think you went back to K2. I hope.
Okay, so he's had it. We knew those soap bubbles had no chance.
Wait a minute. One plane's got to stay back to evacuate any last-minute casualties in case his field is overrun. Lay it on with ops, so we stay back, will you?
What good is that? I suppose all 8 of those choppers will get it before this is done. And I suppose they all had girls.
Yeah, but this one had my girl. Go ahead.
I had said every prayer I knew for Mike, and we were standing by to fly out the last possible load of wounded when orders came to burn all supplies and scram.
Burn the rest of those tents. We haven't time to strike them.
Sergeant, where's the rest of the 6127?
They're fighting at the end of the strip. They dug in with the communications guys.
That's all!
Hold it!
Flight's been canceled.
Why?
Navy's sitting offshore lobbing 1,000,000 shells on the enemy position. They're going right over us at 1,500 feet.
So we gotta get these wounded men out of here. Contact the Navy and tell them to hold their fire for a few
Already
minutes.
tried it, no can do.
There's a breakthrough. This place is gonna be swarming with commies.
You can take your patients out in trucks.
Taking them out in trucks over that road will kill these kids. Now, we're gonna have to take a chance on getting through that stuff.
I'm willing if you are.
1,500 feet, you say?
Unless there's a dud or two. You better not try it, Bill. It's the devil of the deep blue sea. If you're not hit by the commie ground fire, you'll tangle with our Navy fire.
I would try to stay on the deck till we cleared the Navy's fire. Anyway, if we gotta get it, I can't think of a better way than with one of our own shells. Besides, the lieutenant says we gotta go.
No damage, all set to roll.
Here, Wheelock.
It's a heck of a way to fight a war. I'd sure like to have 650s in the nose of this thing.
Anybody here?
Hey, this load's murder. Hey, everybody stick their arms out and flap them like wings.
Down, boy, down. Now, there's nothing to worry about. This thing just had a fresh coat of bulletproof paint.
Climb, baby. Climb!
Altitude 900. One 1,000. 1,300.
Well, that ought to do it. You hear anything unusual, Tommy?
Well, if I don't, I'm sure imagining things. I hope it isn't angel's wings. Maybe we ought to drop down a little.
Those hills ahead are 1,200. Navy fire is 1,500.
I hope. Sold to the gentleman for 1,300. Wow! Seems like that Navy hasn't heard of unification.
Well, you can tell your patients not to worry. We'll be out of this in a minute or two.
Can you get through to air rescue at K2?
Why?
I want to find out if Mike is all right.
Check every way I can tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You got any idea how bad those frequencies are jammed up? The Army and the Marines have been hard hit, and we'll be lucky if we're not kicked into the sea. I won't foul up the air with any bleats about Mike Barnes tonight.
All right, Bill.
How long have you known he was missing?
Since dark. You might have told me, you know.
I was afraid you'd go over the hill on me. How could I tell what you'd do?
Thanks. But I'm a nurse, remember?
We'll be working out of a Shia tomorrow. We can check at Mike's headquarters.
But Mike wasn't at a Shia. His roommate, Lieutenant Will Carey, showed us around.
This is where he lived. Where we live, I mean. You have to kick it.
I thought you were wounded.
Oh, let's just put it, I prefer to stand up.
Those are fresh scissoron blossoms.
Yes, I just happened to see some and bought them. Mike used to sometimes, if he saw any. Always sues around. I don't know why.
I know.
Silly, I guess. I thought he would have liked it.
Why do you speak as if he were dead? Do you know something I don't?
Well, when you go out to pick up men overrun by the enemy, naturally you accept a calculated risk.
Calculated? Didn't you lose 2 out of 8?
Yes, but we brought in 41 casualties no one else could have got to. So we still traded 2 men for 41. Can you make a better deal than that?
What kind of a war is this where they send men out in machines that can't possibly take it?
Nobody sends us. We fought very hard for permission to try this. All of us.
You can move from there now. I knew Mike had that picture.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So that's what she looks like.
Yes, that's my sister.
No, it isn't. That's a girl named Florence Walker. Mike was engaged to her before he met me.
Oh, you've seen it before.
No, Mike told me about it, though. He asked me if he should send it back or tear it up or what. I thought either thing would be kind of mean. After all, she sent it to him because she loved him. I told him I thought he ought to keep it. You're fully convinced Mike has had it, aren't you?
Aren't you?
No, I'm not. And I never will be until his dog tag is brought in. Not if he isn't found for a year. That next week was 100 years long. 100 years of death and destruction. The 8th Army was hard-pressed to keep from being pushed into the sea. The wounded were pouring in from the front lines. We were flying night and day to get them out. And then stand by alert. And every minute of every hour of every day, I kept wondering about Mike.
Oh, I know he'll be all right. But what I say is he'll be rotated soon. Right back to Rockingham.
Rocking chair. It's in the farming part of Texas.
Did you ever visit the guy's hometown? I went through that once. There was a guy I was going to marry. I thought. I got leave and went back to visit his family.
When was that?
Oh, last fall, last year. There was a little town in New Hampshire. Small white cottages. Supposed to be white, they needed paint. Little country store with loafers on the porch. Ladies' sewing circle met once a week in the church basement. I got the heck out of there.
If I only had a roof with my guy and my kids, I wouldn't give a hoot what went on in the church basement.
There was a ritual called cornmeal Johnny cake. You think I could make cornmeal Johnny cake? Batted my brains out. Always came out like laundry soap.
What about the guy? Did you ever give a thought to him?
Oh, he had a hometown girl in reserve. Weaned on the same can of maple syrup. Well, she fitted there. I never could. Never in a million years.
I could. I'd love it, just the way you tell it.
All right, kids. You'll have to move over. You have house guests.
Men?
Flight nurses. We scrounged this tent and we're gonna fill it. So those pilots make it co-educational. Rise and shine, kid. We've got to move your bunk. You just leave your gear on your cots. 5 places this side and 5 places there.
Plane number 634, ready for loading.
Ooh, that's my flight. This is all my stuff, Jerry. Checked and ready to go. You all set?
Come on, kid. All right, girls. Over here. Boys in that tent.
Hey, Muscles. Watch inside. I'll take this.
It's gonna be a cold night, Lieutenant, so I liberated you a couple extra blankets.
Thanks, Jimmy. You're solid.
Yeah, I know. Solid ivory.
Look, should be a whole lot warmer in my sleeping bag. Hey, cut it out. I only meant I'd loan it to her.
Yeah, why?
Oh, I loaned my sack to another nurse once, and it smelled like violets for weeks.
Oh, I didn't understand. Sure don't smell like violets now.
Frank,
Yes, sir?
what's the matter with Jimmy?
Why, just an attack of stupid. I guess he's subject to them. Comes from flying with the same nurse too long.
Oh?
Yeah, too many missions. Sure turns a girl into an awful mess. Something like an unmade bed with a hen's nest on top of it. Some nights they come in looking so pitiful, it's all you can do to keep from knocking them in the head.
I know what you mean.
Now, you take my kid. My lieutenant. Some days I really get to hoping that she'll break a leg.
What?
So she can have a nice long rest.
I thought maybe you meant so you could shoot her.
Oh, no. No, I don't want her to break it that bad. Just a nice, clean rest area ticket. Now, you take a common, ordinary dairy cow. Why, even a cow has to be turned out to pasture sometimes.
Frank, you compare me to a cow just one more time.
Oh, no, not you, Lieutenant, ma'am. I wouldn't compare you to a cow, because a cow would go to pieces under these conditions. Excuse me.
How now, brown cow?
Never once held us overnight in the perimeter before. Sometimes 1 or 2 of us might get stuck when a plane was grounded, but that's all.
I know.
Suddenly we're all here, double alert, and don't take your shoes off. What's happening, Bill?
Maybe it's a slumber party. I'm all for it.
Bill, is this another Dunkirk or another Bataan?
I don't know.
What else could it possibly be?
We'll soon know. Nobody here to reassure.
Except me. This is just for luck.
I could stand a change of luck.
This is getting kind of rough. I'll never forget Pohang. Those kids, sick and wounded and bleeding, climbing up the ladder into the plane on their
Forget it. Something I gotta do about you, without permission.
Smart timing. It's awfully easy to lean when you're shot.
Now, look. You'll never quit, but this war's quitting us. You can see that yourself.
Yes, I can see it.
You've done more than anyone could expect.
There'll be plenty of us left here to clean up the loose ends.
I was kidding. I'm not shot or anything like it.
I haven't got any authority, but I've got a holler. I'm gonna have you pulled out.
You try that on me, and so help me, you'll be clobbered. I'll ground you so hard you won't fly again in this war or any other.
Oh, now listen.
I'll report you habitually drunk on duty. You think a flight nurse can't make that stick? You'll have had it, brother.
Okay, I'm sorry I brought it up.
It's all right. I know it made you think of it.
You think you do?
I've known for a long time. It's very unfair.
What is?
You're the greatest guy I ever knew. You could have any girl in the world that wasn't sewed up. It's wicked that you should find yourself fighting Mike.
I'm not fighting Mike. I'm for myself. I have an allergy against losing.
It just isn't there. Can't give you something I haven't got.
Still got your mind on rocking chair, Texas, huh?
Rocking chair. I'm sorry, Bill.
So am I.
Then suddenly, unexpectedly, out of the ruins, retreat, and heartbreak, the great counter-punch. The great, bold, decisive stroke, prayed for so long, hoped for so long that we'd forgotten it could ever happen. The Marines and the Army landed at Incheon. Seoul was again ours. 50,000 POWs are in our hands. A strange, incredible turn. Appropriate to this strangest, most incredible war.
Did you say something?
I was just thinking. Seems more than coincidental that we're always on the same flight together.
Any objections?
How long to Kimpo?
Oh, about 30 minutes. Our liberated POWs are sure going to be glad to see you.
Bill, do you realize that we'll find Mike at Seoul? I know we will, soon now.
Well, I hope so.
You really mean that, don't you?
Sure.
Why?
He owes me money.
Well, you can lie better than that. Want to try that over?
Okay. I want that character alive. I'm not afraid of taking my chances with any living guy, but how do you pitch to a ghost?
Ah, hot jabber.
Mike was not a ghost. He was alive. I could feel it. Somehow I'd find him. Yes, right here in Seoul. Perhaps in this shell-shattered schoolhouse, among the faces of our liberated prisoners of war, the haunted, the hungry, and the forlorn.
Best food I've ever tasted in my life.
Even the wounded have a different look now. Bitter spirits, not weighted down by the dreadful nightmare of defeats they didn't understand. They've done a good job, and they know it. Don't they look wonderful? You'd know we were winning now without hearing a word, just by looking at their faces. All that lost, bewildered look is gone out.
Who's that, the June bride of the century?
It's these missing guys we're getting back now, sir. Every bunch comes in, she lights up like a new saloon.
Yeah, sure.
She just knows he'll be in the next match, no matter how many times he ain't.
She know what's going on in that room back there?
You mean the interrogation of those returned POWs? I've been keeping her out of there.
Better go on keeping her out of there.
Well, might be she's gonna have to be throwed and tied.
Well, then throw and tie her. They're finding out in there isn't very pretty.
Your hand ought to go in there, ma'am. Oh, please, Lieutenant, ma'am.
All right, Private Judd, you may continue. Tell us what happened at Chinju.
Well, sir, like I said, we were overrun by this gang of commies and herded together for a forced march north.
How many of you?
About 300 at first, but not for long. Some of the guys were too bad hit to stand the pace, 15, 20 miles a day. We tried to help them all we could, but...
Weren't you given any medical aid?
No, sir. The only relief they got was a bullet or a bayonet. Those commies had a lot of cute tricks. A lot of them. When we got to the Coombe River, they tied about 50 of our guys together, back to back in pairs, and threw them in the river to drown.
You witnessed this act?
Yes, sir.
Go on, please.
We got nothing to eat except what we scrounged for in the fields. Old beans, snails, dried corn, and even cats, when we could catch them. We dug holes in the sand for water.
Were any more of your buddies slaughtered?
Yes, sir. One morning, about 100 of us were marched up to a big cave and pushed in. As soon as we were all in the cave, the commies started firing. A couple of bullets clipped my clothing, but my number wasn't up, so I dove in among the bodies. Played dead. Then the commies blasted the entrance to the cave. All but 3 of us bought the farm.
Bought the farm? That means they died.
Yes, sir.
Go on.
A couple of days later, me and the other 2 guys dug our way out and headed back south.
And you were recaptured?
Yes, sir. That afternoon, we ran smack into a commie patrol. They loaded us up onto a northbound truck, and a couple of days later, we caught up to our old gang. Just in time for a digging party.
A digging party?
Yes, sir. They made us dig a long, deep trench. And when it was done, they tied our hands behind us with our shoestrings and lined us up along the edge.
Tell us, Private Judd. Do you recognize anyone among these prisoners?
I think I know that. That's Scarface commie. Right there, behind them others.
Shove that man out front. No, the one behind him. Is that the one?
Yes, sir. He had charge of the murder squad.
You are absolutely positive that this is the man who made you dig the grave trench?
I could never forget him. He gave the command to start firing.
How many Americans were lined up the grave trench when you were?
22, counting me.
Where's that list of dog tags you recovered?
The sergeant's still working on them, sir.
Do you see any other prisoners there who were with the murder squad?
A couple of them look kind of familiar, but the others look just alike to me.
Let's get out of here. No, wait a minute.
After this man gave the command to fire, did you see the faces of any of the men who were doing the shooting?
No, sir. They walked along behind us. They were shooting our guys in the back of their heads.
How did it happen that you weren't killed?
When they started firing, I dove into the trench. Ed Harris, one of the guys who was in the cave with me, fell on top of me. I just lay there under him.
He was dead?
Yes, sir. He never did move again. I just lay under him until it got dark.
Did you know if anyone else in the trench was still alive after the firing?
I heard some screaming down at the other end of the trench, but that stopped after a while.
Then you didn't know if any of our boys were buried alive?
They didn't push the dirt in right away. After it got dark, I crawled out and got loose. I was lying up in the rocks when they came back and filled in the trench.
Does the sergeant know I want that list of dog tags as soon as it's ready?
Yes, sir, I told him.
I'll handle it. Polly. I'm reminding everybody, the Graves registration office is out of bounds.
Well, they must have somebody taking care of that.
Yes, they have me. If you do lay hands on that dog tag list, I'm the one who has to answer for it, you see.
I get it.
Are you coming to Bill's birthday party tonight?
Hmm? Oh, yeah.
You'd
I guess
better
so.
come. You're the only one he's interested in. See you there.
Give me my shoe and I don't care. Give me my shoe and I don't care. Give me my shoe and I'll be there when she hollers bombs away.
I gave you all bill eating and drinking.
Give him. Why don't you raffle him off?
Who's buy the tickets? Da 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 da.
I can't find her, Bill. I don't know where she is.
I'll bet I know what she's up to.
Dog tags.
I'll take a look.
They wiped him out in '92. The doctor said that he was through, but he gave a case of whiskey a beating, and the geezers call him Wild Billy.
Red alert! Bed check Charlie.
Let's get this one out.
Oh, and let's liberate this.
Did I hear right? Bed check Charlie?
Yes, Bed Check Charlie. A North Korean character with an old beat-up biplane. Every night about bedtime, he sneaks down here and tosses a few small bombs over the side. Then we go to bed.
I say, how cozy.
Take cover there!
Well, Bed Check Charlie's out of ammo. All clear.
Drink to my birthday?
What's the matter? You look like you fell on your head.
She found out.
Mike's dead.
Better drink up. I'm sorry, honey.
These your quarters? Exactly where she belongs if she only knew it.
That's what I've been trying to tell her.
Will they send you to the showers, Bill?
They say you can't win them all.
Beat it. I'll take care of her.
It's gotten into you, Frank.
Well, I suppose you heard. I suppose the captain heard she found out about Mike Barnes.
Yes, I know. What about it?
Sir, I'd like to ask you just one thing. You crazy or something?
Watch it.
I already told you she's knocking herself out. Now this. She's got to be grounded.
Hold it, will you?
You can have me busted if you want to. That's fine with me. Somebody's got to start thinking for her because she ain't up to it.
Stop it, Frank.
All this flying for a kid like her.
Sergeant? Pretty smart little tech since you flew 2 loads by yourself. Rather go it alone now, wouldn't you? Now that you don't need me.
Stop that. This guy'd bust himself for you, and you know it. Because you just saw him do it.
He's not busted, yet.
Just wanted to rest for you, that's all.
I never felt less like a rest in my life. Somebody else will decide when you don't need me.
Of course I need you. She still ought to be grounded.
There's Captain Ackerman. I'll speak to her.
Captain.
right, Jimmy. We'll get our flight number on the line. I don't say you shouldn't feel bad. I just don't want you getting sorry for yourself, that's all. Look at it this way. Now you don't have to live in Rocking Chair, Texas.
You're different, Anne. You told me how you hate that little New Hampshire town.
I loved it.
That's not what you told me.
All right, I lied to you. I just got licked, that's all.
Yeah, that corny Johnny cake.
I could have learned to make it. I never had a chance. He married the hometown gal. Oh. Let's face it, Polly. In one way or another, we flight nurses always lose our men.
It's not the same. At least you know your guy is safe and alive.
You've got plane number 704. You better get going, Anne.
704? 704 is my plane.
That's changed.
Martha, are you grounding me?
Oh, I've got plenty of work for you. Kid's landing in about 20 minutes. She has some new nurses aboard. I want you to check them in.
Am I off the flight list?
Yes, for now.
Who's responsible for that?
I am. Any other questions?
No, Captain.
See you around. Sayonara.
I'm sorry, Polly. I know how you must feel.
You couldn't possibly.
I lost my man in a B-29 over Tokyo in '45. Even now, when I hear Obama's engines in flight, I think perhaps...
I'm sorry, Martha.
It would be like I, listening for engines in the sky. And we'll stay out here in the service, hoping that the next ship or the next will be his. Don't forget to meet Kid. I'll see you down there if I can make it.
Lieutenant, I didn't know.
Didn't get the word, huh?
Not until I showed up for the flight.
Well, you got it now.
Oh, look, I'm sorry I stuck my neck out.
Forget it. You'll have plenty of nurses from here on.
No, look, I mean, you...
Forget it, I said. Polly! Polly Davis! Oh, Polly, I found Mike. That isn't very funny, Kit. Oh, I know it isn't, but I found him alive. Kid, I can't believe it. Where did you... Are you sure? Positive? Positive. I talked to him myself. He's at the hospital in Itazuke. Oh, he's alive and safe, Polly. Do you hear me?
They found Mike.
But his dog tag, they brought it in. His medic figured Mike was dead and took his tag. But our guys found him a couple of days later crawling along the road. Oh, Kid, is he bad?
Well, pretty bad, but they won't lose him.
Oh, Mike. He was in Tucson the night they held us over there. Tucson? His litter was carried past within a foot of you. Oh, he was that close and I didn't even know him.
He said he was glad you didn't. He looked pretty bad and turned away his face, but, oh, he said he felt real good just to see you.
Oh.
You'd better get to Itazuki.
Can I? Tonight?
Go grab Bill's 47. They have a load for Itazuki. You can deadhead with him. Run, they're locking up.
Roger. Kyoto Mare, Bill. Tower says we have another passenger.
It's Polly.
Hi, Jimmy.
Fare, please.
All set, Captain.
Our destination is Itazuki. Flight time 1 hour, altitude... dog, soldier.
Please, ma'am. Lieutenant. Oh, that ain't no dog. There's no dog there. Well, this corporal's... This carriage is a corporal. He's got a citation, even.
Now I know why they call some of you guys dog facers. You better keep him covered till he shaves.
Gee, thanks, Lieutenant.
Stop licking my hand.
Lieutenant, they found Mike Barnes, alive. Lieutenant Davis is going to Itazuki with you.
Frank just told me about Mike. This is the best trip I ever made.
Me too. I could walk there on those clouds.
Spread some of it around. The patients could use it. Come on, I've got something to show you.
Oh.
Here, Polly.
Restraints, huh? What do you think of his diagnosis? Won't stay put.
They've put him through the ringer, poor guy. We're all his enemies now. I gave him a shot.
Those commies will stop at nothing.
But nothing. I've got a kid up front that gave a brainwashing.
Brainwashing? What's that?
It's a new fiendish technique the Reds use to turn sane people into commies. They put them in school, soften them up physically, then keep pounding and pounding at them about the evils of capitalism and the virtues of communism. Day after day and night after night without sleep. The poor guys are ready to believe anything they're told. It's like ringing a bell every time you feed a dog. Pretty soon you just ring the bell and the dog drools. Some of our boys got so bad they didn't even want to come home. This kid of mine is really mixed up. Take a lot to straighten him out.
Don't they have enough Reds over there? Why do they want to make commies out of our boys?
So they can send them home to spread the disease, like rotten apples in a barrel.
What are you doing on this flight?
Why, Jumping catfish, let me out of here.
Take it easy. We're airborne.
I might just as lief jump anyway, and without a chute.
What on earth did you get aboard for?
Oh, there you got me. I just tagged along. Wherever you go, my feet just seem to follow.
You better learn to control your feet.
I wish they were back in Tennessee right now.
You from Tennessee?
Sure am.
What part?
All of me.
Oh, that man is sure from the Corn Belt.
Hey, you!
What hit us? I don't know. Sergeant! Yes, sir. Go back there and see if you can find out what's the matter. Rattle her back, Tommy. I can't let go.
Jimmy, put it in the litter.
What happened back here?
The psycho got loose and tripped the emergency lever. Frank, get him back in his boat.
A cycle broke loose and tripped the emergency door release lever. The door flew back and clobbered the left horizontal stabilizer.
How bad?
She's awful bad.
Tommy, I don't think we can get her home. We're losing altitude rapidly. Elevator controls are damaged. They don't respond properly. Get it as a control on Channel Dog. Emergency. Position report. We may have to ditch her. Check the emergency gear and have the flight nurse come up here quick.
Hello, Itazu Control. Mayday, Mayday. This is Gypsy Flight 12, approximately 20 miles north of Tsushima, at 9,000 feet, on a heading of 150 degrees. Losing altitude rapidly, may have to ditch. Request ADF and radar pics, over.
Hello, Gypsy Flight 12. Received your Mayday. Give us a 10 count for fix. Switch your IFF to emergency, over.
And the controls are badly damaged. I think we're going to have to ditch her. May West's on everybody. Get all the patients who can walk into a ditching position against the bulkhead and strap the rest in. Hurry it up. You've only got about 3 or 4 minutes.
Right, Skipper.
Hello, Itazu Control. This is Gypsy 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gypsy 12, over.
Hello, Gypsy 12. Roger. Have radar fix on aircraft 2-3 miles northeast Tsushima. For your info, air rescue has been alerted and is on the way. Surface winds at Itazuke south-southwest 10, over.
Okay, Tommy. Get her May West.
Can you hold her?
Got her.
the ditch and keep them quiet on this end. Okay. All right, fellas, this is the sea landing. Put your May Wests on. Here, Jimmy, strap the patient in, will you? I'll take this one.
Gosh, my knees are knocking.
If your knees knock, kneel on them.
There you are, Bill. Open the escape hatch. Did you get the flare gun?
Gun and shells in my pocket. Okay, I'll take her now. Hello, it is Zoo Control. This is Gypsy 1-2, over.
Hello, Gypsy 1-2. Have positive radar fix your position 20 miles north-northeast Tsushima. Confirm your emergency, over.
Hello, it is Zoo Control. This is Gypsy 1-2. That is Roger. Tail assembly badly damaged. We'll have to ditch. We are now at 4,000 feet, losing altitude rapidly. Advise air rescue. We have 2-5 aerovacs aboard. 2-5 aerovacs aboard. We'll ditch in approximately 3 to 4 minutes. Gypsy 1-2 out.
She don't seem very ruffled.
Maybe she's used to this kind of thing. Personally, I ain't. I can't swim.
Yeah, but if she ain't scared, what's bothering a big he-man like you?
Who's bothered? I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
And to think I used to hate lipstick.
All right, everybody, shut up and pay attention. We may have to ditch, but there's no need for alarm. These airplanes float like a lump of ice in a highball.
Do these things really float for sure?
You heard what the man said.
Yes, ma'am, I heard what the man said. But if you'll pardon an old Tennessee expression, that sounds like a lot of hogwash to me.
I'm glad you're keeping up your courage, Frank, and can joke about it.
I'm not joking, ma'am, and it's not my courage that keeps coming up.
Give him the 2-minute signal.
Hit the floor. Throw in the middle. You men back there, fasten your safety belts.
Can he swim?
He's too young to swim. So am I.
Now, after the second impact, the aircraft will float for several minutes. I'll inflate the rafts by the door. Everyone will file to the rear and get into the rafts. Inflate the left side of your vest. Okay, remember, no sweat.
Did you get the final distress call to Suzuki Control?
Roger. 1,200 feet. 1,100.
Okay, give me half flaps.
Flaps coming down. 950 feet. Airspeed 110.
Lights on.
600 feet.
Alarm bell.
Hands behind head. Hang on.
Here we go. Man, we're coming down fast.
300. 250. 100. Airspeed 100. $50 feet.
Good luck, kid.
Polly! Stop that! Leave it fastened!
Get on!
Keep away from that door. Let's get him out of here, Lieutenant. Good boy. What's your hurry?
Break out the crew raft. I'm going back and help out.
Bring her back.
What happened?
She tried to tie down a patient just as we struck.
Don't crowd, fellas. There's plenty of room in the raft.
All right, boys, back in your seats. You'll all be called in turn pay. These Hoboken ferries leave every minute on schedule.
Let's get moving. Hurry up. What's your hurry?
I don't know what it is, but it's pretty bad.
Okay, load her up.
First 6 men.
Sit down and take off your shoes. It's too crowded back there. Come on, we'll put her in the crew raft.
Can the corporal get in this one?
Okay, get in.
Here, take this Gibson girl. Don't get her feet wet.
Clear the ship immediately.
Tie on to the next raft. Sit down.
Man, I think this is the least. Come on, let's get out of here.
Keep those rafts tied together.
Let's get away from that plane. Hey, it's wet in here.
Put the litter patient in next.
Take it easy, you're hurting my leg.
Take it easy there with him. Get the other one off the bunk.
Easy does.
There you go, right down at the top.
Hey, give me a hand. Help me into this raft. Get those rafts away from the airplane!
This is your yacht, Lieutenant. One more raft to follow.
Hand me my medical kit. Spread the blanket over it.
Keep those rafts tied together. Sit down.
Quiet, everybody! I hear one!
Well, I hope it's nothing worse than a concussion. Put a couple of blankets on her. Here.
Why don't somebody do something? Why doesn't somebody come and get us? Shut up over there and sit down.
Knock it off.
Make them sing something.
What?
Make them sing.
Is she kidding?
You heard the lieutenant. Sing.
Mercy, mercy, anone, anone, anone. Mercy, mercy, anone, aso deska. What's the matter with you guys? You want to bust in the snoot or something? Now, come on, sing. Mercy, mercy, anone, anone, anone. Mercy, mercy, anone, aso deska.
Think it's a skull fracture?
I don't know, sir. Seems like she's blind in this one eye. Don't react right. I'm here.
What is it, Polly? Did you get that?
Oh, I thought... Oh, this can't be right. It seems like...
Like what?
Well, you're not gonna believe this, sir, but it seems like she's asking for a rocking chair.
That's a town.
Oh,
It's the hometown of that character she's been wasting her time on.
sure a fur piece away.
Hey, look! Look! Wake up, boy. Take again.
Well, she'll get there now.
Yeah, she will.
Yahoo! That's the most beautiful sight in the world.
That looks even better than my girl does on Saturday night.
Can you hear me, honey? This is goodbye. The ticket for Rocking Chair, Texas is headed straight this way.
They're coming after us. Crazy, man. Real crazy. Hey, Joe. See you back in the chow line. Another sight for sore eyes. Come on, sweetheart. Right up here. Take it to the USA. Yahoo! We're going home.
Days of complete blackness, oblivion, then weeks of convalescence. I didn't exactly make it to Rocking Chair, Texas, but I did find Mike in the hospital at Itazuki.
Hi, girl.
Hi.
A piece of gingerbread?
Where'd you get it?
Oh, in a box from home. Save that piece for you.
Florence?
Mm-hmm. She makes it exactly the way I like it.
Yes, I know. Real gooey.
Oh, boy, you sound sad.
Maybe because I could never make gingerbread like that for you.
Gingerbread isn't important, but this is. They're shipping me home next week.
Mike, that's fine.
So now that we've cut all the red tape, How about us getting married?
Are you absolutely certain that I'd fit in back in Rocking Chair, Texas?
Oh, you sure will. Honey, I wish you'd quit fretting like this.
I can't help it, dear. I've had a lot of time to think.
Uh-oh, that's bad.
And now you will hear from Sergeant Richard Birney of the United States Marines, who survived the death trap at Chosin Reservoir. Sergeant Birney.
Sure you want to hear this?
When I was a kid in school, they used to tell us about Valley Forge. Now I know what they meant. Not even a brass monkey could have stood that cold. California's Chamber of Commerce wouldn't have wished it on Florida. Some of us kept slogging till our feet froze. Some of us had to be carried. Some of us never made it at all. 10 divisions of Korean Reds and their Chinese pals on our tail, and snipers in every rat hole. It looked like we had about as much chance as a snowball. When all of a sudden, a C-47 started landing on the strips our bulldozers scratched for them. Brother, those goony birds sure look good to us. How I got out of there, I'll never know. I woke up with an angel looking down at me. At first, I thought I was in heaven, and the angel was Mom. Brother, no one ever looked so beautiful to me as that flight nurse.
Makes you too unhappy.
The word is miserable.
This whole thing out here is going to go on being plenty rough. But it's over for us. We're through with war. From now on, we're on a full-time job of living. We're not?
In the first place, I'm not disabled enough to go home.
And in the second place?
Everybody that's here is going to be needed worse than ever, especially nurses.
It's all coming through pretty clear now.
What is?
What you're saying?
Well, just to sit on a porch in a house and when everything is happening here.
Polly, the lady warrior.
A house in Rocking Chair, Texas.
You mean you don't want it anymore?
I didn't say that.
It's in your eyes, Polly. It's on your face. I've been watching you for weeks now, and, well, I guess I knew.
Oh, I wish I could explain it. It's not that I don't want a house with you. It's just that I'm not the girl for that kind of life. I thought I was. I tried to kid myself. But it's so very clear now. Florence is the girl that fits into that picture. I go crazy in a little town, listening for the sound of a plane engine, wondering where Bill was, what they were all doing. Ann, Kit, Martha, Frank.
But we said there wouldn't be any yesterdays for us. Just a lot of tomorrows with no scramble, no sweat, no stinking rice paddies or dung hills.
No bleeding boys, no helicopters, no C-47s loaded with litters. Oh, Mike, don't you realize this is where I belong?
Yeah, you are needed. You're right, that's just the trouble. Something I can't argue about or even feel sore about.
End of a dream, isn't it?
Well, better to have dreamed and woke up than never to...
Nice while it lasted.
Yeah, lovely all the way.
Sweet, good. It's a good love. Too good to last.
Polly.
Mike, you're a great guy.
This is the real goodbye, isn't it?
The day you marry Florence, send me a cable. I want to know that you're happy. Tell her ours was a war romance, that you were lonely, anything in skirts would have looked good to you.
No. No, I'll tell her the truth. We were in love. But our love wouldn't work. Couldn't work. And I'll tell her that right now that Polly is probably flying with a load of wounded GIs and every one of them is glad she's there.
I hope she's broad-minded.
She'll have to be. I like it this way, Polly. It's all over with us, but it's real casual. Real good. Nobody raised his voice. We don't hate each other. Feel bitter or anything like that. Like I say, Guess I've known for weeks that this was coming. I'll always think of you as great.
Goodbye, darling.
God be with you, sweetheart.
Take care.
Roger. Operations has browned off with us.
Why?
Well, they're expecting some jet traffic through here in a minute, and they want us to get out of here, but quick.
Is that nurse aboard yet?
Not yet, sir. But here comes the Jeep.
Lieutenant Davis.
Hi. Hi, Frank. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Bill. Don't look now, but your mouth is open.
What are you doing here?
I'm a nurse. I work here.
But what about Mike?
Mike went back to rocking chair to marry Florence.
All set, Captain.
I hear there's some trouble at Seoul. Let's go get some guys out of there.
I saw this guy.
I will set the very skies ablaze with life and promise for the sick, injured, and wounded who are my sacred charges. This I will do. I will not falter in war or in peace.